This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
And welcome to another edition of Guardian Radio Today, the December 3rd edition of Guardian Radio Today. My name is Pastor Dr. Cleveland W. Eneas III, also known as Kahun Anku Sarah. I'll be with you up until the 4 o'clock hour, and I'm happy that you're here with me today. I want to start today's show by just wishing my grandmother a happy, heavenly birthday. She would have been, if she was still here with us in the physical, she would have been 110. That's Muriel Eneas. Great educator, amongst other things in the country. And of course, she would always say, in life, there are no rewards or punishments. You simply suffer or enjoy the consequences of your actions, something that her father, the great Dr. Frazier, S.F. Frazier out of Savannah, Georgia, would have taught her and her sisters. So I want to say happy birthday, Grammy, and happy birthday to anyone else who is celebrating today on December the 3rd. There's a lot going on in the country today, and wow, it's a lot. It's a lot to digest. I caught a little bit of Z Live. And I wish I had caught more of that because I really appreciate Shivago Lang's commentary on such matters, right? We're going to get into the smuggling bill in a bit, but I want to introduce that within the context, or I should say a wider context, right? We as Bahamians are very adamant about, or passionate rather, about voting and politics. And many times we are so nearsighted that we don't appreciate what's happening to us in these election cycles. Last week, we had none other than Antoine Swing III with us. And even though it was a fun show and you know, I had texts, you know, with people just sending me emojis, you know, crying, laughing, and I even had people tell me they was pulling off the road to laugh, right? And it was a great show, but it really speaks to, you know, what Antoine Swing III, what he says about Bahamian people. You know, we love conch as much as we love getting swing. And I want to share some things based on some posts that would have come out, you know, days ago. I see where Rick Fox put out a statement about majority rule to minority state of mind. I want to touch on that. This idea of voter apathy. And ultimately, I want to talk about the fact that our salvation does not lie in voting. Our salvation does not lie in voting. But I want to start today's show with a comment from my dear brother, Dr. Ian Strachan. I thought this was a very important point that he is making. And I want to start here and then we'll matriculate through all those different things I just touched on. But Dr. Ian Strachan says, "Dear organic Bahamians." Now, we could define that. I guess that's a whole show all by itself, right? But for the sake of time, we can just keep moving. "Dear organic Bahamians, you cannot build a nation by spreading hate and fear. You can only tear it apart. You can scapegoat a group in your society, making it seem like eliminating them will solve all your problems. It will get some people excited because you seem to have found a simple solution to all that's wrong with their country. There's one problem. Scapegoating is totally irrational. Haitian immigrants aren't the reason we are obese. Haitian immigrants aren't the reason we can't pay nurses and teachers. Haitian immigrants aren't the reason the government has refused to award contracts through a fair bidding process. Haitian immigrants aren't the reason your grocery bill is so high. Haitian immigrants aren't the reason Bahamians don't own the tourism industry. Haitian immigrants aren't the reason the sea level is rising and hurricanes have bashed us so hard for the last 20 years, causing billions in infrastructural damage. Haitian immigrants aren't the reason so few can afford a house. Haitian immigrants aren't the reason gas prices are so high and the electricity costs so much. If you want to govern this country, come correct. Show that you understand the real dynamics at play. There are no shortcuts to a better Bahamas. Again, the words of Professor Dr. Ian Strawn. And I feel him 100%. I think that we as a people get used by a political system that doesn't serve us. I think that we're going to continue to have these types of conversations while this country saunters into hell. And so Rick Fox, an upcoming candidate, we don't know who he's going to be running with, but he also had some words for the voters and for the Bahamian people. He said in the days following the Golden Isles by-election, Parliamentary Commissioner Harrison Thompson admitted officials were baffled, quote unquote, by what they witnessed. More than 4,000 registered voters stayed home. 4,000 Bahamian voices absent from the Democratic table. Now, of course, there's this whole issue of cleaning or cleansing the register. So we don't even know how many people didn't show up. That's a whole nother story. Rick Fox goes on to say, this isn't normal, this isn't healthy, and this certainly isn't the Bahamas. Our parents, our grandparents fought to build. It's a warning. The Bahamas, a nation born from the triumph of majority rule, is now being quietly governed by minority participation. The very principle that defined our national identity, rule by the many, has weakened into a habit of rule by the few. We once fought to break away from minority governance. Now, by apathy, we are drifting right back into it. The grandfathers of the nation honored, respected, but wrong about today. Few leaders have shaped modern Bahamian democracy more than Prime Minister Philip Brave Davis, affectionately known as Daddy, and former Prime Minister Hubert Alexander Ingram, the nation's papa. They governed in a time when Bahamians turned out in large numbers, when the civic spirit was alive and majority rule felt like an inheritance that could never be lost. Their leadership deserves respect, but respectfully, they are applying yesterday's confidence to today's crisis. Papa Ingram recently said, you can't steal an election in the Bahamas. Daddy Davis has projected similar assurance, confident that all is steady, that all is well. Santa Claus coming, right? But the numbers tell a different story. With 4,000 voters staying home and only 25% of the electorate determining a parliamentary seat, it is clear that everything is not fine. Elections today are not being stolen by corruption. They are being stolen by apathy. The people are not being silenced. The people are silencing themselves. That is a threat unlike anything our national fathers ever had to confront. The 25% problem, the quiet collapse of majority rule. In Golden Isles, a candidate did not need half the votes to win. They only needed a quarter. Imagine 4 people sitting at a table and only one person deciding whether the other 3 get to eat. That is not democracy. That is minority rule by default, disguised in the shell of a majority rule system. Apathy made the decision. Apathy filled the seat. Apathy now shapes our future more than the electorate does. If nothing changes, apathy will steal the 2026 general election, boldly, openly, and without resistance. the biblical consequence of not showing up. In Exodus chapter 20, verse 12, it instructs us to honor your father and your mother, that your days may be long in the land the Lord your God gives you. This is more than a household command. It is a national one. Our mothers and fathers, the generation who delivered majority rule, paid a price so that the many could decide. But when thousands stay home and a minority chooses for the majority, we dishonor that sacrifice. We weaken the foundation they built. We shorten the lifespan of the society they secured, not by curse, but by consequence. No nation survives when its people stop showing up for it. The Bahamas calls itself a Christian nation, but where is our discipline? Every Bahamian child knows this line. Get ready, you're going to church. Church was not optional. It was discipline, duty, expectation. The same discipline is now needed in our democracy. Voting must become cultural again. Voting must become expected. Voting must become a mandate of service rooted in the same values that shaped us in church. A democracy cannot stand on 25%. A nation cannot survive on silence. A call to the pastors of the nation. When nations face danger, their spiritual leaders must speak, not to endorse parties, but to awaken responsibility. Isaiah 51 verse 1 says, "Cry aloud, spare not." This is such a moment. Pastors must call on Daddy, Papa, and all political leaders to stand together, not in competition, but in unity before an election date is set, and address this crisis at its root. This is not politics. This is stewardship. The path forward. Restore majority rule in practice, not just in memory. If we want the Bahamas to remain a nation governed by the many, not the few, we must modernize and reinforce our democratic practices. Number one, stream the vote. Let every Bahamian watch the process in real time. Transparency builds trust. Trust builds turnout. Turnout restores majority rule. That's a very interesting point. Put the cameras in the room and let everybody see you voting. Interesting. Number two, National Civic Duty Day. A once every 5-year paid holiday for voting, another holiday. A day dedicated to civic responsibility, just as Sundays were dedicated to church. A day that transforms voting from an inconvenience into an expectation. Make voting a habit. Make voting a duty. Make voting Bahamian. The grandchildren must grow up, show up. Here's the truth. We are the grandchildren of majority rule. We didn't march for it. We didn't fight for it. We inherited it. And now it is slipping, not because someone took it, but because we have stopped showing up to protect it. If we want a Bahamas worthy of the next generation, if we want a future we can proudly claim, there is only one path forward. We must grow up, we must stand up, we must show up. Now. Our vote is not merely a right, it is our inheritance. It is the last piece of power placed directly into our hands by the generation that fought before us. Every time we stay home, we hand that inheritance away. Our grandparents carried this country. Daddy and Papa fought their battles. Now it's our turn. No more waiting, no more watching, no more wishing someone older would fix what is now ours to repair. Grow up, stand up, show up. This is our generation's responsibility. Our generation's majority rule moment. Final call, reject the minority mindset. Restore the Bahamian majority. Apathy is winning. Apathy is shrinking our democracy. Apathy is reversing what our ancestors built. But we can stop this. We have the duty, we have the power, we have the moment. For our fathers and mothers, for our children, for the future of the Bahamas. The Bahamas will belong to all Bahamians, but only if Bahamians show up. The words of Rick Fox. My response to these words and more right after this break here on Guardian Radio Today. Keep it locked.
Step inside the John Baptiste Jazz Club at Bahamar, where the rhythm of the islands of the Bahamas meets the soul of New Orleans. Every night, the lights dim, the music swells, and the air fills with that unmistakable energy. The kind that makes you close your eyes and just feel. Savor signature cocktails, curated small plates, and live performances from world-class musicians, all in an intimate, artfully designed space where every seat has a story. Whether it's a romantic night out or a spontaneous evening with friends, this is where you want to be. The John Baptiste Jazz Club, only at Baha Mar. Reserve your table now at bahamar.com/jazz club or through the Baha Mar app, because every evening plays its own tune.
Explore a beautifully preserved 1930s Bahamian colonial home on William and Shirley Street, filled with antiques, collectibles, rare coins, stamps, furniture, vinyl records, and pieces from the Windsor Hotel. Join our private auction Friday, December 5th, 1 to 5 p.m. Register for $50 at bahamasliquidation.com or WhatsApp 557-2522. Enjoy early catalogue access, complimentary drinks, and a private house tour. Then don't miss the free public auction Saturday, December 6th, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Card payment only. Delivery available for both events. Register now. Baker's Estate Auction. Preserving the past, one treasure at a time.
Always on the go? Missed a show? You can now listen to Guardian Radio talk shows anytime, anywhere on Spotify and YouTube by searching Guardian Radio 96.9 FM or by entering the name of your favorite show. You can also listen by logging on to GuardianTalkRadio.com and clicking on the podcast tab. Guardian Radio, continuing to provide you with fresh news and smart talk anywhere, anytime, all day.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
And we're back here on Guardian Radio today. My name is Pastor Dr. Cleveland W. Eneas III, also known as Kahun Anku Sarah. And I'm happy to be here with you. Our salvation does not begin with voting. Here we are with the general election on the horizon, on the heels of a by-election, and a bill, a smuggling of migrants bill that is, causing some heads to turn, so causing some questions to be asked, right? But ultimately, we the voters, we the electorate, we have some serious decisions to make. Rick Fox, I respect his words, and he did make some very important points with regard to us showing up to vote, showing up to keep our democracy intact. Well, he did make a call out to pastors. I am a pastor, and I felt compelled after reading his words to respond, which I did a few days ago, but I have an opportunity today to share these words with those who are listening today and those who will listen when this is rebroadcasted. And so I wrote to our dear brother Rick Fox, and it's not necessarily directed at him, but his words did inspire these words. And I wrote, our salvation does not begin with voting. I feel that Rick Fox is coming from a sincere place, but let us also consider, voting is not causing the cost of living to go down. Voting is not causing crime to go down. Voting, in fact, is maintaining the status quo of career politicians, career political generals, career political parasites stewing in the gangrene that majority rule has become. Show up for what? The more money we make, the higher prices go up. Show up for what? The crime bosses seem to be cozy with the political elite and even the police and defense force. Show up for what? We get more out of fleecing our politicians before an election or a by-election than we do by actually voting. Here's a sad fact. We wish no ill on our politicians, but we don't cry long enough when they go, because a by-election quickly becomes a B-U-Y by-election. Our foreparents fought, but they didn't fight for this. They didn't fight for politicians to be voted in and still yet not show up for the people. They didn't fight for the healthcare system to be in the abysmal state it is in, while the travel budget, just for example, has been $58 million from 2021. The recent government travel expenditures, the initial budget allocated was $12.4 million for travel for the entire fiscal year, which was later revised to $16 million in the first 6 months. $10 million was spent on travel. The fiscal year 2023-2024, the government spent $7.8 million on travel in the first 6 months, July to December 2023. In the fiscal year 2021 to 2024, and part of the year, the Office of the Prime Minister, the OPM, spent a total of $9.5 million on travel during this period. 2017 to 2021, the OPM spent $1.3 million on travel in total. 2019 to 2020, the Royal Bahamas Police Force had a budget of $350,000 for domestic air travel, but spent $180 in the first 9 months, leading to an increased allocation for the next year. This is according to a May 4th article, a Guardian article, 2025, May 4th, 2025 Guardian article. Now, this is not to say that the FNM has been much better, since the hospital has been in disrepair under both the PLP and the FNM, who faced criticism, the FNM, regarding its transparency when it came to spending under the Minnis administration. I could go on and on. But the truth is, politicians need us to vote. And once we are done voting, they don't need us again until they need us to vote. Let me say that again. The politicians need us to vote. And once we finish voting, they don't need us until they need us to vote again. That's what you see all of this pandering going on about. Huh? One thing I think Brother Rick Fox should have added in his list is a fixed election date. What if you traveling? What if you have planned? You can't even plan properly because you don't have a fixed election date, because you're all playing. You want us to take this thing seriously. Why don't you take it seriously? Put a fixed election date in place so people could plan around the election. If you're going to have an actual holiday, as Rick Fox is suggesting, that should be a fixed day. Anyway, go back to my words. As a pastor, I'm not calling for the people to seek salvation in politics. I remind people to seek their first love. In the book of Revelation chapter 2, verses 4 and 5, it reads, "Nevertheless, I have somewhat against thee, because thou hast left thy first love. Remember therefore from whence thou art fallen, and repent, and do the first works, or else I will come unto thee quickly, and will remove thy candlestick out of his place, except thou repent." We got to repent. We got to go back to our first works. What are these first works? Remember the covenants of old. The covenant of the bow in Genesis 9, 8 through 17. This is the covenant that was drafted between the Most High and Noah. The covenant of circumcision, Genesis chapter 17. The covenant of promise, Exodus 13 and 1, where the firstborns would be dedicated to the Most High. The covenant of the Nazarene Eucharist in Numbers chapter 6, verses 17 to 18. I ain't talking about communion. I'm talking about the Nazarene Eucharist. Turn away from ghost worship. Revelation chapter 13 and 4. "And they worshiped the dragon which gave power unto the beast. And they worshiped the beast, saying, Who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him? Stop worshiping the God of this world." Who is the God of this world? 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 4. In the New Living Translation, it reads, "Satan, who is the God of this world, has blinded the minds of those who don't believe. They are unable to see the glorious light of the good news." They don't understand this message about the glory of Christ, who is the exact likeness of God. Satan is in the pulpit today. 2 Corinthians chapter 11, verses 13 to 15. "For such are false apostles, deceitful workers, transforming themselves into the apostles of Christ. And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. Therefore it is no great thing if his ministers also be transformed as the ministers of righteousness, whose end shall be according to their works." So just like the politicians, the pastors have failed us also. Jeremiah 23:1, King James Version, woe be unto the pastors that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pasture, said the Lord. They have us worshiping another Jesus, another gospel, and another spirit, these pastors. 2 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 4 confirms this by saying, for if he that cometh preaches another Jesus, whom we have not preached, or if ye receive another spirit, which we have not received, or another gospel, which ye have not accepted, ye might well bear with him. So minority mindset is nothing but a possessed mindset. This is what Bahamian people need to be aware of. A perverse mindset that leads to apathy. See, the apathy ain't just coming from nowhere. The apathy is coming from lawlessness. Matthew chapter 24, verses 12 reads, and because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. That phrase, shall wax cold, in the Greek, is just the word psycho. In the Greek is the word psycho. We have a psycho mentality. The iniquity is the lawlessness, the perverse spirit, as talked about in Isaiah chapter 19, verse 14. The Lord hath mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt to err in every work thereof, as a drunken man staggereth in his vomit. You see, this causes us to be in a deep sleep. We're in a spell. How do we know? When we look at Isaiah chapter 29, verses 9 through 10. Stay yourselves and wonder. Cry ye out and cry. They are drunken, but not with wine. They stagger, but not with strong drink. For the Lord hath poured out upon you the spirit of deep sleep, and hath closed your eyes. The prophets and your rulers, the seers, hath he covered. So voting won't save us. Voting is a result of a righteous people. Let us seek righteousness, and the majority will rule in righteousness as we once again show up to vote. Matthew chapter 6, verse 33 reads, but seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. And so the apathy that we see in our country as it regards to voting is a result of lawlessness. And so when we see bills coming across the table, such as this smuggling of migrants bill, there are questions that people have. Now, I know Mr. Lang went through beautifully. He read through as much of it as he could. I could tell you my one main question as I read through this bill. Section 19. It talks about other rights of smuggled migrants. See, the electorate has to be well informed in order to address those people who supposed to be working for us in the House of Parliament. Section 19 says, the minister shall afford smuggled migrants the right to privacy and confidentiality and to amenities, including the provision of food, clothing, shelter, documentation, and interpretation and translation services. You see that part would say documentation? That's what my big question is. Now, I don't know if Mr. Lang touched on that. What type of documentation is the minister going to afford smuggled migrants? Now, I went up into the beginning of this bill, right? Smuggling of migrants bill, a bill for an act to strengthen border security and international cooperation to prevent and combat migrant smuggling, to provide measures for the protection of smuggled migrants, to provide measures for the protection of smuggled migrants, that phrase right there, to prescribe penalties for offenses of migrant smuggling, and for matters connected therein. There's a section under here, in section 2, where they have interpretation. So they interpret a lot of different things. They interpret the authorized officer, the authorized port, the child, the commercial carrier, the conveyance. So I use this alphabetical order, so I looking for documentation. Did they actually interpret what documentation meant? I don't see it here. Now I pull this off the government website. Yeah? So I don't know if that was, talked about or discussed in the show before us, but I say, as we as a people begin to, I pray, wake up and understand that election just can't be about fleecing politicians. We can't just wait for an election so that we could get our roof fixed or get the road paved or whatever the case we looking for, and then they don't really show up to vote. Because here goes a bill that people have questions about, that people are making some serious claims about. And we better wake up, because if the minority of the people continue to vote and put in who they want to put in, and the people who get in are doing the bidding of the minority, we in trouble. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259, and the Family of Violence 242-300-5720. Of course, our text line is powered by BTC. 422-4796, the standard text rates to apply. Of course, we're streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com. And we're on Cable Bahamas 969 or BTC Flow Channel 612. Let me just go through some text and then I'll go to the phone lines. Give me a second. Text that says, Dr. Ian Strawn has shown through academic autonomy beautifully and correctly expressed words that scapegoating is totally erroneous. All right, amen. This next text is say, Haitian labor is cheap labor. That's true. This text says, Sir Lang, our great government is seeking to populate the Bahamas. We need more citizens. What don't Bahamians understand about this? Eugene Nuri educated us years ago that this must and will be done. It was a part of our leaders' political ideology. I, sir, do agree with him. Okay. So the government just trying to populate the country. Okay. Good day, Mr. Ineas. The pastors, many of them are bought out or compromised when it comes to the politicians. The politicians of the country corrupt and compromised, and the religious leaders are paralyzed and mesmerized by their masters, the politicians. We are in a deep sleep. Two more texts and then we run to the phone line. Good afternoon. Correct me if I'm wrong, but based on my understanding, if a passenger in a smuggling operation claims they were kidnapped or forced onto the boat against their will, can they then claim asylum and obtain document? That's my question, Dexter. See, when this bill say documentation, what documentation? That's my question. Would you get a passport? What you getting? Make that clear in the bill, please. All right. Uncle, our great government is seeking to okay, so let's run to the phone lines here on Guardian Radio today. Caller, you are live.
Hey, buddy, how you doing?
Hey, great, man. Thanks for calling.
Look here, you say a mouthful. Listen, man, just give me but 2 to 3 minutes. Listen.
Go ahead.
The last part I said, bro, we don't need no more people. Let me tell you why. If we take on any more people here, you're looking at different cultures. Mm-hmm. You're looking at different religions. Mm-hmm. You're looking at different type of everything. Mm-hmm. If you look at America, that's a melting pot. You understand me? Mm-hmm. Every time something go up, you notice there's always this culture stepping in when change the rules of what they meet of another country. Mm. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Now, for what I gathered from listening to you and watching and hearing the news and all that stuff, mm-hmm. So let me tell you something. Watching the culture of the Haitian community in Haiti alone, I must agree for one thing I wish we had here. Please, I don't mean violence. Please understand, I don't mean violence. Mm-hmm. A little more radical when it comes to our politicians. Mm-hmm. You notice anytime the Haitian president, they don't do right, they go storm the palace, right? Mm-hmm. But our politicians, we are so, I don't know what word to use, that they could go and say, look here, we can say anything to these people, and guess what, they can suck it up. Mm-hmm. And
I think we may have lost him. We as a people are asleep. And until we figure out that we have a responsibility to this nation and hold our politicians accountable, we can continue to get what we're getting. Let's run to the next caller here on Guardian Radio today. Call you live.
Hey, good afternoon. How you doing, Uncle?
Hey, my brother. How you doing?
Right on, man. You all right?
I'm well, man. Good to hear your voice.
Yeah, man. Same here. Good afternoon to the nation. Mm-hmm. Listening to your conversation and you struck a couple accords based on national discourse and what is being printed in the press, and I wanted to speak on about 3 of them, please. This whole matter with migration, right? The bill that's coming before Parliament now that you were discussing. One of the things that jumps out at me in regards to that is people seem to have a challenge with the government not charging the individuals who are being transshipped to various countries, including our territory, if they are caught here, right? But on the flip side, Uncle, if we're going to have an intellectual conversation that leads to solutions and leads to edification, right? And I do believe that you are someone who is reasonable, reason-headed, and you listen to varying viewpoints.
Definitely.
Without becoming offended or taking offense, which is a very key factor. But in order to resolve this issue, Uncle, whose help are we going to need if it's happening in our jurisdiction? Who is most likely and most able to help the Bahamian authorities, immigration authorities, foreign affairs authorities, and as well as the Royal Bahamas Defense Force and the police force authorities, customs authorities? Who is able to best and most help them to resolve this transshipment of humans issue, in your view, Uncle?
The people who have smuggled. I mean, they could say where they came from.
For crying out loud.
Yeah. I ain't got no issue with that.
Being smuggled.
Right. Right away.
How are you best or most likely to secure their encouragement to help you, Uncle?
Right. So my question, Antoine, is I don't have an issue with that. I don't have an issue with that.
You have to give them something.
So no, my question though is, so are you suggesting then that when this section 19 talks about other rights of smuggled migrants, when it talks about the minister shall afford smuggled migrants the right to privacy and confidentiality and to amenities, including the provision of food, clothing, shelter, documentation, and interpretation.
I was listening to that.
So what is the documentation?
Right. I was listening to you on that, which is why I decided to call in, Uncle. I made a call to one of the relevant ministers, right? And, if someone comes into our country illegally, if they're transshipped, right? What do you see as the first thing happening when they are caught by authorities, Uncle?
Well, they have to be in some way put in some database or detained.
They have to be arrested.
Detained, yeah.
And then prosecuted, processed and prosecuted.
Right.
Right? And if they are here illegally, they came here without proper documentation.
Right,
Uncle?
Yeah.
If they travel through several jurisdictions, the government as the responsible host in the country where they were caught have to be able to secure the proper approvals, the proper visas in order to return them to their host country.
Right.
That's where that documentation being afforded comes in.
So here's my thing. Why not spell that out in here? Why not?
Now, that's the point that I heard you speak to last.
Yeah.
That I could fully appreciate.
Yeah.
I could fully appreciate that, Uncle, because as you were explaining, the government went through links to provide explanation as to what certain things mean in the bill, right?
Right. So they should have put documentation in that section too. Yes.
Pardon me?
In that section 2, they should have placed explanation next to documentation.
To remove the ambiguity.
Yes.
I agree with you entirely. And the government could do that. I heard the director of communications earlier on Dwight's show, right, Uncle? And he spoke to this matter, and he said that this bill is not complete. It still has the first and second readings, et cetera, right? To go through.
Okay.
And if there is reasonable input, reasonable and sensible, intelligent input that is being put forward, recommendations that is being put forward, such as this one, which could help to strengthen and provide further clarity about the document, so that others with ill intent cannot use the that exists in a negative way.
Yeah. We got to run to a break. Thank you so much, Anton. I appreciate your call. Other callers, I see you. Texas, I see you. We'll be back right after this break. Keep it locked.
gal, can you believe this? We are now the patrol queens of the neighborhood.
We now large and in charge. So we need to check out what's going on in everybody's yard. What about that gun that we know that Junior and his homeboys just ran out? Can we report that too?
Of course we can.
But we could be in deep trouble if they find out.
We need to report what we see, Beulah. When you call Crime Stoppers, they just answer your call in Miami.
So then we can report everything? Guns, where they hiding the drugs, who shoot who part of which gang, or who disturbing the peace with the loud music and the motorcycles.
Then our neighborhood will be the best in the Bahamas, and everybody gonna want to come live here. And then our house price will go up, gal.
So what we waiting on? What's the number?
If you see something, say something. Let us all pitch in and stop the crime before it's your time. Call 328-8477 from Nassau or 242-300-8477 from the Family Islands. Or text us through the Crack Crime Bahamas app. Stop the crime before it's your time.
This holiday season, give yourself the gift of a fresh start with a personal loan at Fidelity. You could win refreshing prizes like a luxurious spa day, John Boat gift certificates, a cruise for two, and more. Make that move to a fresh start today. Call 356-7764. Promotion ends December 19th.
Fidelity, we're good for you. Love the show? Want to give your support? Become a sponsor today. Call 302-2300 for our rates and packages. That's 302-2300. Become a sponsor on Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
And we're back here on Guardian Radio today with your host, Pastor Dr. Cleveland W. Eneas III, also known as Kahun Anku Sarah. Let me run back to the text line and then we'll go to the phone lines. The text says, Sir, too many pastors are compromised. The Bible speaks clearly on the results of serving two masters. You have PLP and F&M pastors who only hear from God when their party is in office. They are too busy serving on government-appointed boards, getting crown lands, public service plates, etc., etc. All this while the country is going to hell. I agree with you, Texter. All I will say, again, the same way the electorate has a responsibility, so do the congregants. The book of 1 John chapter 4, verse 1 says you're supposed to test the spirit. You all just go running behind anybody who call themselves pastor. And don't ask them questions. The minute you start asking them questions, they don't question God. We ain't questioning God. We questioning you. Let's run back to the phone lines here on Guardian Radio today. Call you live.
How you doing, man?
Hey, great, man. Thanks for calling.
Listen to me. My question is, who in reality is bill affecting or helping? You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's actually helping those persons who actually pay to come illegally in someone else's country, right? Are you wrong or are you right?
If that's the case. See, the bill is saying that these are people who are being kidnapped or who are being smuggled. They use the word smuggled. They didn't use the term that you would use for a person who's paying to be transported. You understand what I'm saying? So
yeah, and that's what I feel. They being a little disingenuous.
Well, this is
what I mean, because the overwhelming majority of persons pay to get transferred to our country.
Well,
to get transported and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And we know this as fact.
Mm-hmm.
So they have to say where they're getting this information from. Well, that these people are being smuggled and taken from their home or whatever, or kidnapped illegally and then brought here.
Well, so the big question is why was the word smuggled chosen?
Exactly. Man, Uncle, man, listen, man, they going too far now. And it's obvious that they're in intent and what they're trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
Understand? And people need to wake up now, man.
Yeah.
It's our country. It's our country, Uncle.
Yeah.
I tell them, BPL had to come in the corner now, I'm going to pay one bill. Hey, what's going on, man?
Yeah.
This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And you got these people coming back in this thing, they talk to this minister and that, man, hey, listen to me, bro. I wish I had no journey, no, bro.
Yeah.
You see the radical nature you're one of the callers is talking about.
Yeah.
That's my mind, bro.
Wow.
It's my country, bro.
Wow.
It's my country, bro.
Yeah.
You understand what I said? And this is ridiculous now what these people trying to do to us behemoths in our own country.
Yeah.
It ain't for us no more.
And that's why we got to have the proper communication and the proper questions got to be asked.
They explain things clearly, bro, and they ain't doing that because they know the things they trying to push past people.
Yeah,
and they know they have their base. And a bunch of dumb people following behind color and things. You understand? Ain't nobody following behind color no more, bro.
Yeah.
People up churning and taking the things to live for right now, and they expect better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's why people go in the state up and churn in the states and all this stuff now, man.
Yeah.
So they have a choice.
Yeah.
When this country go down, they go somewhere else.
Yeah.
You understand?
I only get one. Yeah, my brother. I only get one passport. So, in this bill, it says in Section 2, smuggling of migrants. This is under the interpretations. Smuggles. They have quote unquote smuggling of migrants, and then smuggles a migrant means to obtain directly or indirectly a financial or other material benefit for procuring the illegal entry or illegal landing of a person into or through the Bahamas where the person is not a citizen or a legal resident of the Bahamas, or B, into another country where the person is a citizen or legal resident of the Bahamas, but is not a citizen or legal resident of the other country, or C, into another country from or through the Bahamas where the person is not a citizen or legal resident of the Bahamas and is not a citizen or legal resident of the other country. Smuggled migrant means a person who is the object of smuggling prohibited under the sections 5 and 6 of this act, regardless of whether the perpetrator is identified, apprehended, charged, prosecuted, or convicted. So they're attempting to interpret what smuggled means. I'll think on that for a second. Let's run back to the phone lines here on Guardian Radio today. Caller, you live. Caller going once? Oh, boy. Let's run to the next caller.
Hey, young man. How you doing?
I'm great, man. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, man. I appreciate listening to you, especially when you come off after Lang. Lang did such a ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, but something he said that really got my interest. In that the government don't want to check any aircrafts. They only want to check vessels that are floating on the water. Which clearly states to me, well, I'll come back to that. But how can we take this bill serious, Uncle, when the Prime Minister publicly stated that the Bahamas is not in an immigration crisis, but yet still you have to push a bill to deal with smugglers?
Right.
So you want to know who you trust? The Spirit tells you, you don't trust a lawyer who represents criminals all his life. You just don't trust them. But we seem to be gravitating toward this devil. And this is what we get. Now, how much that you could find in this bill that is not already in law? Think about it. There's nothing new about this bill. Smuggling is illegal.
I was coming to that.
It's already illegal. But because Bahamians, when I was trying to sell some insurance some years ago, I didn't know the one was PLP. And they taught me in insurance, don't talk about politics and religion, but I couldn't help myself. And I bounce on politics. The woman tell me point blank, sir, if Finland tell me eat this cockroach, I will eat it. And I had to let her know, but let's cook it first. So we are dealing with persons who are following whatever that is.
We just saw that in the by-election. The lady on social media who said, I don't know who I voted for, but she said, I is a PLP. I born, bred, and dead PLP.
Exactly.
All right, then.
And there's a guy that calls name JJ. I can't remember his name. JJ, I'm CG. And he talks about these people who have to leave the scene for the country to grow. And if we continue to follow these persons who would rather eat cockroach than eat fruits and vegetables, that's what we get for supper, lunch, and dinner. We get a PLP party that wants to give you cockroach while they fly all around the world and play with monkeys. So this is where we are, Uncle, and it's really up to us to make the change. This bill is only to appease those people up north, say, look, we're doing something. Because the fact is, you're not checking the planes, which means you letting Bahamas Air go straight through. So we know where this particular leader mind is. But does the PLP know by supporting this particular party They are actually doing what MAGA is doing to America, bringing the country down to hell. PLPs, please look at what's going on. This is not good for the overall. And pretty soon, when you realize that people are going to be in your country speaking a language that you don't understand, and there's so much of them, you're going to want to leave. How much else can afford to be able to live? I bet you most of them PLPs who eating cockroach can't leave. Man, I could go on, but I stop.
I appreciate your call, my brother. You know, as I look at the section under the interpretations, and of course the legal minds can help us to understand better. It's not clear from what I'm seeing that in this section anyway, that is only talking about people coming in on boats. It's making it says mean to obtain directly or indirectly a financial or other material benefit for procuring the illegal entry or illegal landing. Entry or landing is used in that section. This text says, it seems as if the bill is confusing human smuggling with human trafficking. Human trafficking meaning a victim who may have been kidnapped and transported to a different country for this human smuggling, whereas a person who pay for transport to a different country. Yeah, I think, again, some distinctions have to be made. All right, let's run back to the phone lines here on Guardian Radio today. Call you live.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing, man?
Yeah, really good, Anku.
Hey, my brother.
You know, something, Anku. Does this bill, I haven't gotten the chance to peruse it yet, but you know I'm going to do that, right? But does this repeal any existing legislation?
I haven't seen where it does that yet. I'm still going through it.
You know, but you know, that's what we need to be mindful of, to see whether or not this repeal anything.
Yeah.
And this would or it would supersede any existing legislation.
Yeah.
But know something? If these politicians don't stop acting foolish, you know, because we all know that over the years they did it for voting purpose. You know what I'm saying? Because I can't get for the life of me what could be a reason for you to forge an alliance and have these people of Haitian descent being your general, issuing them all sorts of contracts. What is the purpose to get a Haitian vote who can't speak English? What is the purpose of that now?
They shouldn't be able to vote.
They should not be able to vote, but we regularize them at rocket speed, pace, and many of them can't even speak English, you know. So what could be the purpose? What could be the purpose of this exercise that they've been doing over the years? I mean, the pigeon pea and mud, right, Anku?
Yeah.
When I was a little boy, I was at the Center for Mahabaco. It was like a 60 by 100 piece of property, you know.
I remember. I know where it was.
And it mushroomed over the years.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just trying to get an appreciation to exactly what is this nonsense all about, you know. But you know something, we are seeing a new generation of Haitians, and they are being bigoted with it, as if that they could take this country over. Oh, we're not like their parents. They're not like their parents. Like their parents was taking advantage of. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if the politicians don't slow down and use common sense and intelligence to address this issue, we are headed for an ethnic war, okay?
I pray not, my brother, but we got to run to the break. Thank you so much for your words. I pray we are, you know, taking the time to read this bill. You can Google it and pull it down and just take your time and read it and ask questions the same way I'm asking. But we're going to run to the break, run to news, pay some bills. Back right after this. Keep it locked.
This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news and intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversations. 96.9 FM.
And welcome back to Guardian Radio today with your host, Pastor Dr. Cleveland W. Eneas III. Happy to be here with you, and I pray that today is going well for you. We've been talking about, you know, the smuggling bill, and you know, there's a broader context to this whole conversation based on our mindset in general, right? The fact that there's this voter apathy, and the fact that, like one texter says, "Good day, Reverend Enius. The lawyers, politicians crafted this bill in such an ambiguous way that it shows you they continue to look at Bahamians as fools. They are not for us." This is the feeling that the people have about the people who are supposed to be working for us. These people are supposed to be working for us. Why are you giving us these type of ambiguous bills? Let's run to the phone lines here on Guardian Radio today, 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. In the family of violence, 242-300-5720. Of course, the text line is 422-4796, powered by BTC. Standard text rates do apply. Caller, you're live. Caller going once. All right, let's go to the next caller. Caller, you're live.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Interesting topic, man. I mean, you know, we as a small nation, we only we voicing out the same. Whether they come here by smuggling, by other means, and come here illegal, I mean, we can't take it anymore.
Yeah.
It's just too much.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's only, we can't save the world. You understand what I'm saying? And I mean, our great-grandchildren and all of them, they can pay the price.
Yeah.
You know, and so it's a serious situation. It's not even a joke. It is serious.
Right.
And unless we do something about it, I mean, we're going to be running ourselves where we run into. That's my 5 cents.
Yeah. You know, we already potentially, you know, we may be what they call climate immigrants. You know, as the sea levels are rising, right? I remember C. Allen was like, "No, man, we'll just build up the Bahamas. You know, build up a couple more feet, and we'll be good to go." But in any event, this is our country, right? And there are people who would wish to come in here and do as they please, and basically push Bahamians on the side. You know, my good brother C.A. Nuri said he overheard a expat saying the problem with the Bahamas is too many Bahamians in it. And there are many people who think that way. Let's run to the phone lines here on Guardian Radio today. Caller, you're live.
Uncle Sarah, how are you today?
I'm great, man. Thanks for calling.
The bill you're speaking about, what's the name of the bill that was supposed to be debated?
Smuggling of Migrants Bill 2025.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. What was the COI doing downtown talking about an asylum bill?
I'm not sure.
They were protesting downtown while the government was and the opposition was debating the bill to get funding for the hospital. All right?
Yeah.
And the bill that they intend to bring forward, they have it right there. It's for all to see. So how is it that we allow Lincoln Windows to spin this whole topic to an asylum bill when there's nothing pertaining to asylum? Otherwise, and persons will be in traffic through our country. Okay? The world is turning to that particular bill right at this time. Okay? And I think that bill was presented from the G7 nations. Okay? It wasn't something that the Bahamas, we have to adhere to the G7 nations. All right? But like I say, they put a spin on it and make it seem like, we are granting, this is another loophole to grant Haitian citizenship. This has nothing to do with Haitians. This has with all persons who are being smuggled through the Bahamas. All right? We just what they intend to do is put more teeth in this particular bill that persons could be dealt with severely, who are smuggling persons and causing persons to have to leave their home country and be used as slaves. That's what this bill is all about. It has nothing to do with our political asylum. Nothing to do with that.
Okay.
So, but when you read the bill, you will see it for yourself.
Well, let me tell you one of the questions I had on the bill in section 19. I maybe you didn't hear when I presented the question.
No.
Where it talks about other rights of smuggled migrants. It says the minister shall afford smuggled migrants the right to privacy and confidentiality and to amenities, including the provision of food, clothing, shelter, documentation, and interpretation and translation services. My question is, what type of documentation? And the reason I ask it is because in Section 2, they interpret certain words, but they didn't interpret documentation. So when they need to go back.
tell you it ain't gonna be citizenship. Okay.
But they need to spell that out. They need to spell that out.
Yeah, but I think it'll be some legal status that you remember now. If somebody traffic you through a country, sometimes they don't have no documentation.
No, I with you. I with you. All I'm saying is, for the sake of clarity,
that you can understand. Yeah,
that need to be spelled out because that's a loophole right there.
I understand, but we got to tell these third parties stop spinning the narrative that please themselves and their grouping, okay, and speak truth to power, because what it does in the country is it causes a whole hysteria over nothing. Have a nice day, man.
Thank you, my brother. Let's run to the next caller here on Guardian Radio today. Caller, you live.
Yeah, I'm cool.
Hey.
Yeah, I just wanted to make a point before
Yeah.
we go and cut, but I know you had to
Yeah, we had to run to the break.
go to the news break.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, look at section 35,
Okay, 1 second.
part 7 of this bill. Someone just called me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I answered my question what I had asked you.
Right. All right.
It speaks to
Yeah, the
section
miscellaneous.
35, part 7.
Yeah.
It speaks to miscellaneous.
Right.
Now, that could be pretty big and dangerous when you're talking miscellaneous, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Part
Now,
seven.
I
Part 7 is labeled miscellaneous. Just for people who don't
Yes,
understand.
part 7, miscellaneous. I know what that means. That they said this provisions of this act shall be in addition to and not in derogation of the provisions of other written law relating to smuggling of migrants.
Right.
In the event of a conflict or inconsistency between the provisions of this act and those of other written laws, the provisions of this act shall prevail. And the conflicting or inconsistent provisions of other written laws shall, to the extent of the conflict or inconsistency, be deemed to be superseded
By this particular bill.
by this particular bill.
So, wow.
Now, we need to figure out what these other laws that this bill will supersede.
Right.
And then what makes this thing even more scary, when you look at section 37, it says the minister may make regulations for carrying out the provisions of this act. Imagine that. The minister
Yeah.
will make regulations.
Yeah. That seems like that's
You see see the hypocrisy in this. We need clarity.
Yeah, clarity is that's the main word for me right now. You know, clarity. What does that
Clarity.
mean? You mean the minister
Clarity.
could make a unilateral decision? You know, that's the question. You know, it's like, can the minister make a unilateral decision? He could just make regulations for carrying out.
They're giving him the power to do so.
But these are the things that need to be spelled out, right? When you go to section 2, right? Section 2 is where they're supposed to have interpretation. You see, everything that's supposed to be like these words we bringing up, right?
Right.
So for example, minister means the minister with responsibility for national security. That's one person.
Right.
That's in that section. You see what I'm saying? These things need to be spelled out so that there's no room for loopholes. Because later on down the line, someone can come back and beat us with the same piece of legislation because we didn't
But if you're giving the minister all of this power to make regulations for and do his own thing, you're creating another piece of legislation that could potentially lead to, if the minister is corrupted, to them turning it into a cash cow, right?
Yeah. That's
So,
what we
but I
don't
would
want.
peruse this some more. I would peruse this some more, but you need to have, and then, this bill isn't going to be debated in Parliament, because whenever this bill comes to Parliament, they're going to be talking about, right?
What?
They don't, just like I told you, they don't debate in Parliament, they give speeches.
Yeah.
So they will be bringing a lot of speeches, wishing their constituents a Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year, and all of that.
Yeah, they use December to slip stuff like this into. That's what December for. December is to slip stuff like this through. You could slip. You could slip because people turning off now. People getting a party. People in the shock. People.
Right.
Yeah.
But they're not going to debate this, and they're going to go. They're not going to use the first 7 lines. They're not going to use anything. They're not going to debate this and do it with a fine teeth comb. Everybody will be greeting on behalf of their constituents, giving out ham and turkey and talking about what they're doing. Then they're going to say, "I support the bill."
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, but this bill needs to be trashed out, and it needs to be debated. For the first time, the speaker needs to do a job and engage in debate, or follow the law of Parliament, which is to debate, as opposed to allowing these individuals to be giving speeches which have nothing to do with the bill itself that they table in Parliament.
Yeah.
No problem.
Thank you, my brother. This texter says, thanks for questioning the bill. Other show hosts love to dismiss serious matters. If you stand for nothing, you fall for anything. They are part of the problem. They get upset when you question everything. Let's just make murder, stealing, and rape legal also, and we'll have zero crime. That seems to be the answer for this government. Ah, boy, texter. Let's run back to the phone lines here on Guardian Radio today. Caller, you live.
Hey, Uncle, how you doing?
Great, man.
Listen, a question. This bill.
Yeah.
Is this bill primarily for Haitian migrants?
Not necessarily.
So why is it that everyone that's talking or calling in the talk show, they are alluding that the issue is coming from the South, that the bill is for the persons from the South?
Yeah, I understand your point. I think most people we already are in a situation where we have a lot of Haitian migrants, and unfortunately, Haitians are looked down on in this country. Right. But they're not the only illegal migrants coming to this country, not by far.
Because I've been I've heard the talk shows from this morning, right?
Yeah.
And every caller called the talk shows, and they're talking as though the bill is primarily for Haitian migrants, right?
No.
That's one. Out of the way, right?
Yeah.
The next thing, we have a fringe candidate, right? Rallying up persons to go downtown, right? On false information, right? What would be the repercussions, right? If something was to happen downtown and someone got injured, because it seems like whenever you hear persons talk about Haitians in the country, there's this hysteria, right?
Yeah.
What happened? Because it seems like, I could be wrong, but it seems like persons who aligns with this fringe candidate, right? They're militant, they're angry, right? And they're doing and saying things out of ignorance because they're following their leader, right? What would be the repercussions if someone was to go downtown, right, and hurt someone? Should the candidate be held for that?
That's a great question.
Should the candidate be held responsible if persons were to be injured or even killed? Because it seems like whenever it comes to the Haitian issue in this country, there are persons who are angry, bro, militant, and they're going on false narratives.
So
please.
Let me share this with you before you go.
Yes, sir.
In Article 24(1) of the Constitution, it reads, except with his consent, no person shall be hindered in the enjoyment of his freedom of peaceful assembly and association. That is to say, his right to assemble freely and associate with other persons in a particular form or belong to political parties. It must be a peaceful assembly.
Agreed, but I'm asking you.
I agree with you. So once you get out of the realm of peaceful assembly, now I don't know if you have the right to do that. I don't know what's happening downtown, so I'm not speaking to what's happening downtown. I'm only responding to what you've said. I didn't see what's happening downtown.
No,
but I understand.
Because it seems like one day, because of false narratives, persons will go downtown, persons will be injured. Because they're very passionate on a false narrative, bro. I believe Lincoln Bean should be held responsible if something was to happen negatively in the country on a false narrative. Thank you, man, and you have a good day.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, we'd have to get some legal experts to explain what the consequences of that would be. We're going to run to the break here on Guardian Radio today. Again, I am your host, Pastor Dr. Cleveland W. Enius III, also known as Kahun Anku Sarah. Back after this.
reliable and impactful printing services, look no further. Let Printmasters bring your masterpiece to life. We stand by our quality products that is second to none. Our affordable pricing and friendly, efficient staff makes Printmasters the ultimate choice for all your printing needs. We can deliver any type of printing services, from banners to booklets to business cards. You name it, we can print it.
Let Printmasters bring your masterpiece to life.
Located in the Nassau Guardian Building, telephone 302-2361.
Always on the go? Missed the show? You can now listen to Guardian Radio talk shows anytime, anywhere on Spotify and YouTube by searching Guardian Radio 96.9 FM or by entering the name of your favorite show. You can also listen by logging on to GuardianTalkRadio.com and clicking on the podcast tab. Guardian Radio, continuing to provide you with fresh news and smart talk anywhere, anytime, all day.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
And we're back here on Guardian Radio today with your host, Pastor Dr. Cleveland W. Eneas III, also known as Kahun Anku Sarah. Let's run right back to the phone lines here on Guardian Radio today. Call you live.
Hey, what's happening, man?
Great, man.
I listened to your last caller, and what your caller need to understand, the biggest migrant problem we have in the Bahamas is the Haitian migrant problem. We've been overrun in our schools, in our hospitals, our communities, the unregulated communities. 90% of our migration problem, our migrant problem, illegal migrant problem, is from the Haitian. So that's why the Bahamians are geared towards the Haitian. Of course, we have Jamaicans, Chinese, and other races that is a problem. But our main issue is the Haitian problem. And, you know, in the absence of clarity, you leave room for speculation and interpolation. So nobody confused the situation. The PLP confused the situation by not being clear with it. You need to be clear in exactly what you say when it comes down into particular the touchy subjects, such as immigration. And when you're not clear, it leaves room for interpolation. And the reason why people are reacting the way they are about this bill, let's not forget, I is one of y'all is one of us. That quote is still out there lingering around. That still haven't been cleared up. That still haven't been addressed. Let's look at the by-election in Golden Isles. Of the 5 polling stations that the candidate won, 4 of those polling stations are Haitian communities. You see what I'm saying? So to me, in my view, this bill is geared towards what is fastly becoming the new PLP base, which is the Haitian vote. This is the way I see it. I'll link up and continue to listen.
Thank you. That is a perspective. You know, it would be good to get the numbers of the amount of illegals and which countries they come from. I don't think they call us off when we look at the fact that we do have a lot of Haitian migrants. We got to remember, however, I had a show a few weeks ago where a lot of work permits were given to Haitians when some farming was being done in Abaco many years ago. And so it's not all been because of illegal immigration, but I understand where the call is coming from. Let's run back to the phone lines here on Guardian Radio today. Call you live.
Hi, good day, Mr. Anku. How are you?
I'm well. Thanks for calling.
Okay. Now, listen, you spoke about a loophole, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. The court system reform, that needs to happen because, okay, we're speaking about in a part of this bill, right? You have the smuggler and you have the person who's being smuggled in, right? Hello?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Okay. Now, a part of this bill is saying that, well, what I understand from this morning when I was listening to Mr. Latre ramming straight from the horse's mouth, and y'all could go back on them tapes or whatever. He is saying that the smuggler will have a whomever, whatever nationality. I'm not targeting any nationality. Okay? The smuggler will he'll be retained or he'll have to make bail, and then he'll have this, the ankle bracelet.
Okay.
And then the persons who are being smuggled in, whatever nationality, right?
Mm-hmm.
They have to stay here in this country during the whole trial. I mean, until the trial comes up. You follow me, right?
Yeah, I'm following you.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so the trial could take 2 to 7 years, like it normally do, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or whatever. So the person who's being smuggled in, they win.
Yeah, they
All right?
here. They here. Yeah. They
Huh?
here.
So they have to stay here,
Mm-hmm.
right? I mean, according to this bill,
Mm-hmm.
they have to stay here.
Mm-hmm.
The person who smuggled them in, he, she, or it have to stay here. So, I mean, what? That is the loophole.
You're right.
That need to be fixed.
And we already have laws, right, whereby if you're caught bringing in people who are undocumented, just send them back. Where they come from?
No. This bill saying no, you can't send them back. Listen to the tape this morning with Dwight this morning. The man say they have to stay here, and then they can be deported.
Boy.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So, and you know, the court system, that's why I say court system reform. You know how court system go. So that means 50, you could have 50 people smuggled in,
Mm-hmm.
right? 50, maybe 100 people smuggled in.
Mm-hmm.
All of them got to stay here. To me, that's what it's saying.
Well, these are the questions. Apparently, the bill is still being drafted, and they're listening to people's response to it. So I pray that the people who are listening, can bring some.
Well, let me tell you this: they better address it, because some of them could be women.
Yeah.
Many of them could be women and have plenty children.
Yeah.
All right, and so when the case does come up, right? Them 50 women, or well, it don't be 50. Well, it could be 100 people who came in on that smuggling boat. Right? They have to stay here. 50 of them could be women, right? So between the 2 or 7 years, all of them could have babies.
Yep.
And then even when you deport them, right? Think about it. When you deport them women, what happened to them children?
No, that's a great question. That's a great question.
It's a loophole.
Mm-hmm.
You hear?
Mm-hmm.
They better make sure deal with this thing right.
Yes, ma'am.
All right?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for your call,
For
man.
future reference.
Yeah.
Anyway, have a good day.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Let's run back to the phone lines here on Guardian Radio today. Call you live.
Hey, good day.
How you doing?
Yeah, I have 2 points.
Sure.
The one with the lady Jess was talking about,
Mm-hmm.
about the set that get to stay.
Mm-hmm.
If we race saying we don't have money, do they know that we also have to take care of those people as long as the trial goes on?
That's crazy.
That the taxpayers' money has to fund them, feed them, and place them on whatever it takes.
Right.
And that's only for that one boat we're talking about. So many boats coming in for years.
Right.
All of them we have to house and feed during the case of the trial.
Mm-hmm.
And secondly, the guy who called in about the protest thing.
Right.
I don't know if you could recall the gathering. I think it was a union gathering when a truck break loose and it killed
that was actually a Labor Day parade.
Yes.
That was a Labor Day parade.
Did they hold the person who holding the Labor Day parade accountable?
No, only the person who
who's driving the truck.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I mean, any peaceful gathering, I mean, it sounds like he's more passionate than the people who being out to protest. He's passionate more about Lincoln being calling, because I don't understand if something is unclear. The bill was put out. The person who sits down and say, I'm happy with the bill, and they don't understand it 100%.
Mm-hmm.
What right mind are you in?
Right.
The bill is unclear.
It's very ambiguous. Yeah, I agree.
All right, that's all I got.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Let's run back to the phone lines. Call you live.
Yes, Pastor Enos.
How are you?
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Yes, I hear there's a whole bunch of people are crying out about the lower turnout for the election, right?
Yeah.
Pastor Enos, when you look, Jamaica one was low, America one was low. The Caribbean just had the election last week. That was low. I don't know what is going on, but people, the more the people come out, who want to come out, and who didn't want to vote, they didn't want to vote. There's nobody could force nobody if they don't want to vote.
That's true.
See, the people must learn to understand. They know Mr. Bain Party. They know the FNM. They know the PLP. If the people ready to want to vote for the COI, they would have come out and vote for them.
Right.
And these things are so simple, you know. But
Yes.
people always trying to find for this 40% of this and 30% of this. If the people want to vote for the FNM, they would have turned out, and the FNM would have been the next man would have been inside the House Assembly today.
Yeah.
And these things are so simple. Why you trying to determine? So that means if it was, or you trying to determine if it was more people turning out, that means the COLI they would have been then.
You mean
or the FNM? It was more people turning out. That means the FNM they would have been then.
Yeah.
Make this thing make sense, man. And with my last
It's
point,
simple,
with-
just simple. Yeah, they making it too hard.
It's just simple. That's all.
Go ahead now. You say, is your last point?
My last point is with Mr. Fox. He have a good point, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the show playing with Mr. Fox haven't been on here in years and years. People do no longer go to church now.
Mm-hmm.
You go on Sunday, go on Sunday morning to the food store and to the wash house.
Mm-hmm.
People no more going to church. I don't know for some reason why. People now are turning to their own ways, doing their own thing. You understand?
Yeah. That's
The days have gone.
I can touch that next week.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Let's clear the phone lines. Call you live here on Guardian Radio today.
Yes, how you doing, sir? C. Alan Johnson here.
Hey, Mr. Johnson. Good to hear you.
Yeah, I hope the people behind me just work do with me because, I'm a bad person. Okay.
Go ahead, man.
First of all, this bill, right? This deals with the United Nations Convention Against Transnational Organized Crime and its protocol against the smuggling of migrants by land, sea, and air. We signed it in April 2001. We ratified it in September of 2008, and it's been in force since October 2008 in the Bahamas. Now, I want you to pay attention to this bill because it's, just let me say, my mother told me, when we used to come home, she used to say, half the truth is a full lie. Okay? So we have the Immigration Act.
Yep.
We have the Procedure Crime Act. And we have the Trafficking in Persons Act, amongst other acts that's there. But this act basically deals with all of them.
And
the language coming
and they
from...
saying this would supersede those other acts.
Absolutely, it will. Just like people said.
Right.
The problem that you have now is you have something that is called the Smuggling of Migrants Act, but their tone is that of trafficking in persons. Now, you have to understand that smuggling and trafficking in persons are two different definitions.
Right.
Okay? So this talks about, in language, they want us to think that they're talking about traffickers in persons, like people who are forced against their will to come here and testifying against them and them needing protection and everything. But I want you to read the bill and see if you see anything in there that mentions the word trafficking in persons.
Right.
It doesn't.
Right.
It strictly speaks to the smuggling of migrants, but then they want to attach to the smuggling of migrants the definition of trafficking in persons.
Right.
And so it's like calling a cat a dog, and then you give the minister the authority to basically define and make whatever it is that he wants it to be.
Right.
Now, there is about 14 errors. But the major error of this is the misleading title and the content, or as you say, the terminology does not match the intent of the bill, making this a garbage bill. Okay? So if you want to strengthen the Trafficking in Persons Act, we have one that you can go there and strengthen. If you want to address the seizure of things, we have a Proceeds of Crime Act that we can deal with that. If you want to deal with migrants and other things, we have the Immigration Act. What is the purpose of a Fourth or Fifth Act?
That's the question Cleaver was asking.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, and that's one. And this is where I'm saying this act is disingenuous. This bill is disingenuous in what its intent is for. If we want
the
to
word trafficking is not in the bill. It's not in there.
it is not.
No.
It is not.
It is the
But
word search.
when it talks about people against their will, that's not smuggling. That's trafficking.
Yeah.
Smuggling is basically almost a willful thing where these people pay to come on. Tell me which one of them that willfully walked to the harbor, pay their $5,000, was forced to.
Right.
So what protection do they need?
Right. And with
Okay?
that, yeah.
So this is a convoluted and conflated bill, and the only thing you have to ask is why? Why? If we need, and so this is why when the leader of the opposition called for a commission on the Immigration Act and the accusations being made, and this government fought against it aggressively at the beginning of this year, this would be the opportunity to have an open, transparent conversation on the defects in our system that deals with even providing identification and other things for individuals. Because essentially, if we don't have a national ID system that can clearly differentiate between citizens, residents, temporary people passing through, whatever it is that differentiates between them, then you're giving them something that you cannot withdraw from them. And you, secondly, when you talk about this defective biometrics bill that they brought, that is also a defective bill that I say is directly tied to these other bills that they somehow will try to massage them to fit its own purpose. Because what happens is if you have the baseline of a biometrics bill, in fact, a lot of people may not understand your fingerprints, your iris, and your face. They could be stolen and replaced. Let me just show you for you.
Yep.
I'm not going to take too long, but you provide your information to the people, right? To whatever agency. If you have dirty passports being issued and other IDs, NID, and all these things being issued, what if I have somebody in there manually take your information and take the information I give them and delete you? You will spend the rest of your life trying to prove who you are.
Yeah.
But there's some other baseline for when you go into the business of biometrics that is necessary. But the first thing that has to happen is the privacy, the protection, and the sovereignty of that has to be established from that baseline. And then the ultimate baseline we use today is called DNA.
Yep.
See, so what happens is you have individuals, just like Cleaver say, reading speeches in Parliament with not even the rudimentary understanding of data, information, and movement and these things. So they come in there, the same 5-year celebrities, and represent themselves as expert. And the day after they are sent out of Parliament, if you used to try to have a conversation with them concerning the bills they passed during their 5-year stint, they were clueless because they don't have a speech in front of them.
Right.
And so the substantive nature, if you want to have an informed electorate, and I heard Acting Prime Minister Latrell Raming this morning, and I call him that because he speaks for all of the other ministers. Only one person has the ability to speak for all of the ministers. And that's the Prime Minister, and I know we have one, so I can only assume that he's acting as one. And I don't care the level of linguistic contortionism that is brought to us. There is intelligent behemoths out here, and most of us could smell something if it's something wrong. And let me just end in saying this. What the Progressive Liberal Party is doing now, behemoths are smelling a dead body,
And every day, the Progressive Liberal Party is bringing new air freshener. Okay? We know something stinks, something has died, and we don't want it to be our country.
Yeah.
And we want the truth, and we're going to keep up to the truth, even if we have to replace them and get somebody who will eventually give us the truth.
Amen.
Thank you so much.
We're going to run to a break here on Guardian Radio today. Call us, we see you. Text us, I'll get back to you as well. Keep it locked here on 96.9 Guardian Radio. Fresh news, smart talk all day. Back after this.
Love the show? Want to give your support? Become a sponsor today. Call 302-2300 for our rates and packages. That's 302-2300. Become a sponsor on Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Girl, Junior just showed me Bella Boy in his phone.
What you mean? He take picture of that good-for-nothing boy?
Shh, you don't want Bella here. You say that. You know she always say that's my good child.
So what he doing in Junior phone?
Oh, he there because the police looking for him. He on their wanted list.
Wanted persons in your phone now?
Yes, child. And when police want to find anybody quick, after something happen, they can send picture direct to your phone. Go to Google Play or App Store and search for Crack Crime Bahamas. Then pick install and it will go straight to your phone.
There is also a section on missing persons.
Yes, girl. Everybody needs to get this app so police can tell us right away when these people go missing. Just like an alert system.
Yes, it has numbers for Crime Stoppers Bahamas so you can call and nobody knows it's you. Call directly to Miami and give the information without giving your name or anything about you. I tried the other day, and when I hear Junior and his boys talking about where they hide those guns, I walk quick round the corner and call that number.
Call 328-8477 from Nassau or 242-300-8477 from the Family Islands.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
And we're back here on Guardian Radio today with your host, Pastor Dr. Cleveland W. Eneas III, also known as Kahun Anku Sarah. The smuggling of migrants bill, voter apathy. I mean, where are we in this country? Let's run back to the phone lines and hear what you have to say. Call it your life.
Hey, where's that, Uncle?
Everything cool, man.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, man.
Listen to me. I must agree with that lady who called before those gentlemen who were speaking last.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at these people on the way, you know how our court system go.
Yes.
Simple, small theft.
Listen, she made such a very important point because yesterday we was talking about that all this backlog and things. I mean, they could just be sitting in the country having.
So you could imagine from there here what's going on. Them boatloads could be coming in by the boatloads every day.
Yeah.
And you know what's gonna happen? They can clog the system.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And then what's gonna happen? We stuck with them. That don't make no sense to me.
Yeah.
What our government need to be doing, if they listening, get to that table to start making legislation, how to stop this nonsense.
Right.
And stop giving this point right citizenship.
Right.
You hear me? Or either that or they just don't respect the behaviors, man.
Yeah.
And I have no problem with migration, you know. Do it the right way.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
I agree.
And going forward, what did you do? All those here who still illegal, when they come up to the office applying, lock them up. Prove to me how you get your voice. We got to get serious with this immigration, man. You see the kind of violence that's going on in Haiti right now? Oh, we know who coming here.
That's true.
And then they will get upset when the people talk about it. Oh, y'all don't like Haitian, this, that. Listen, one thing you can do, you know, if you feel that way, pack your bag, jump on a plane, and go back to Haiti. That's all if you feel that way.
Yes. Yes.
That's a simple solution.
Yeah.
But the behaviors got to fight for their country.
Yes.
We can't go to Haiti and do this kind of things. What they're doing, like that.
That's right.
We cannot.
Amen. Amen. Thank you, caller. Thank you, caller. Let's run. Let's the phone lines are lit up. I want to make sure let everyone get their 2 cents in. Call your life.
Uncle.
Hey, man.
First topic, man.
Yeah.
You had a lady on show, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, on the Guardian Radio.
Yes.
I sure you got the money to get the supporters or whatever to get you a show to run or whatever. He run it on. I say he wrong, right? But he long-winded, man.
Yes.
Hey, second point. The guy before C. Allen, I don't know what he was talking about, man. These people need to stop lotioning and realize what's going on in our country. You understand? It ain't no yellow, it ain't no red, it ain't no black, it ain't no Fest ain't no nothing like that. It's Bahamian.
Yes.
Aquamarine, gold, and black. You understand what I said? That's what we believe. This is our country, man. We have to do what's best for us.
That's right.
You understand? This bill has too much loopholes in it.
Yeah.
I don't even understand why they bring this bill forward. You could have shut this down if the G7 or whatever the thing name push this forward for y'all to bring to y'all people. Y'all supposed to know y'all people thinking, especially in this climate right now.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody accepting that, bro. You understand? And the caller before I see all that, he is part of the problem. He is part of the problem, guy. He sound like he one little 60-something, 70-something years old. Y'all never question nothing these government bring before y'all, you know. These the people right now questioning things, what's going on. You understand? People who've been to call it sharp minds.
Yes.
Sharper than these people who in power. You understand? We understand things. We have master's degree. We have doctor's degree. We have all these things as well.
Yep.
These politicians ain't the smartest minds in our country. They can't push anything past us and just expect us to accept it. Them days over.
That's right.
From piddling time, them days over now, man. You understand? You got to be rational. You got to explain yourself and bring forward truth. That's all you got to do.
That's right.
All right?
Yeah, man.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the call. Call you live here on Guardian Radio today. Okay. All right. Yeah. You know, we have to. You got to participate in your liberation, right? You got to participate in your democracy. You got to participate and understand that the people that we are electing, they are working for us. They ain't there to just ram stuff down our throat and be supposed to just eat it and smile like one of the callers say, just eat cockroach. We ain't doing that. We ain't doing that. This text says, Pastor, good day, Bostonians. These are some serious times, and it calls for very strong people who believe in God and their country, not politicians. Amen. Let's run back to the phone lines here on Guardian Radio today. Call you live.
Yes, Uncle.
Yes, my lord.
Thank God for life, amidst this strife, right? But I listened to some of the PLP dupes, fanatics, et cetera, right? It hurts my heart that they can never be dissimilar from their organization. And I said many times on this radio, conformity will be the death of humanity. I hate to do this, but you remember during the pandemic, I was speaking the truth, and it was obviously, they didn't know it, and I was lambasted. And the CDC put out a report that there's no evidence to support that autism is not caused by vaccines.
Right.
But nobody wants to play that. So, to all the imbeciles, educated and whatever, bookless, bookful, whatever, just let's get on with the country's business. But as it relates to the migration crisis, right? The Haitian Bahamian is really showing himself to be a traitor because enough of them are with us, right? Because they understand the scenario. And so the caller that called and spoke about what we could do over there, Haiti, and do. We see the belligerence, the schisms, the burning of the flag. We turn a blind eye to everything. We have opened our arms to these people. But yes, there's cause for alarm because of the social media followed. We see the disparaging remarks towards Bahamian, all of the BS. I mean, like if this particular demographic is needed in the construction industry, you using it as an excuse for citizenship and the gateway to what? You see what I'm saying? So for decades, I listened to Lang today, and Lang said something very important, and I think as relates to the bill, I didn't read the bill yet, but it was relates to paying the smugglers. See, it's something that I intuitively just countered because, and thank Cleaver for that orientating me to that very, very crucial aspect of the bill that I fell ill, right? But it's sickening to me that Lang was saying exactly what my mind was saying. The plausible deniability BS, right? That I can pay a smuggler and then shout, cry, wolf in the wilderness, but I was a victim. BS. There's so much loopholes. I didn't even read the bill yet, but I would like to tell you what I'll do before I read the bill, right? Because, I'm a reader, I'm a thinker. If you don't know me for that, then that's that on them. Right. But, I'm sick and tired of the government duping the masses. Read the bill for yourself. Don't take your mind off the shelf and read the bill for yourself.
Yes, indeed.
You say, Uncle, give thanks, but I'm sick, man. I'm sick, man. I want to hear from the Minister of National Insecurity and the Foreign Affairs. I'm out.
We can hear from them. Thank you, my brother. Call you live here on Guardian Radio today.
Hello, good day.
Good day, good day.
Yeah, maybe want to call in. They say only the smuggler will get charged, right? And everybody else would get to stay in the country.
Yeah.
So you know that smugglers are now actually just selling boats? So there wouldn't be no driver on it? Like these guys could now, they can now navigate themselves here and everybody free? So there's nobody who's going to be charged.
And even and Carla, that's a good point. But how do you identify who the smuggler is?
Right, and then the smugglers will even assimilate with them.
You understand? Just because someone may be, I don't know if it's a motorboat, if they the one who driving the boat.
This law is to appease people.
Yeah.
They just want to have something and say, hey, someone will be charged, and they think that we'll be happy with it.
Mm-hmm.
So this is to appease people, but this is a way to smuggling people into the country.
See,
that's all it is.
My thing is,
the plain thing is drawn a narrative now that they can't use the Bahamas airplanes anymore. So now this bill now will go back to the boats and everybody still be strict.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good point, caller. Yeah. You know, if you trapped in a trailer, right, in a 40-foot or 20-foot container, and you can't get out, all right, you probably didn't put yourself in there. But if you on a boat, open air boat, you ain't tie up. I can't. I find it hard to accept that you being smuggled. I just saying. Let's run back to the 497 Garden Radio today.
Hello.
How you doing?
Hello.
Yes.
I'm okay. How you doing, Uncle?
I'm great, man.
That's it. Hey, Uncle.
Yay.
Yeah, this whole thing ain't good for this country.
Right.
Let me give you one of my experiences. You know, through the music thing, right?
Mm.
And it was like 2 weeks ago, at Super Valley Cable Beach. I like the lady who was I said, man, I said, you're doing some music on that. I said, man, you want to hear it? Oh, I don't hear it. All Bahamian music is noise. All Bahamian music is, I said, why you say that? Because all Bahamian is noise. I said, all Bahamian music is noise. All is noise. And she goes on to say that she is Haitian. She has a Bahamian passport. She has no loyalty to this country. All right? And, you know, when she's saying this, the other girl on the side of her, they hold the top of her behind the corner. I told her I could see, right? And like they laugh and everything and saying how they have no loyalty to this country, right? But you know what? The Bahamas government is basically educating, medicating, and doing everything for the Haitian people, especially, right? And the children, these children, right? They're in a group, they're the largest group in this country, right? And they have no loyalty because that girl, she spoke from her heart, right? And I listened to Steve McKinney a couple of weeks ago, and I heard him say that one Haitian come out and the order is to don't talk no more Creole, okay? So right now, they are in this mode of just being quiet and Haitian, and it isn't good for this country, what's happening. The Prime Minister, he already said this election, call him Daddy, right? Haitian Daddy. He said he's a Haitian, right? So Daddy getting all the Haitian them sorted out. But when these persons leave from Haiti, who's in charge of Haiti? They have no government. The gangs, right? Right? They control it, right? And our aircraft, Bahamas has been used for years. The hub was Haiti. We have family islands. They can't even service our family islands. They service in Haiti, right? Our planes are in Haiti. And those before the pandemic, that was the hub, okay? And even after the pandemic, and even though all the shooting of planes and everything, the government see it not fit to don't fly our aircraft there, but they still do. Why? We have people like Fred Mitchell, Eugene Newey been dead a long time ago. In the spirit of Eugene Newey, he's an advocate for Haitian for life, and he's Haitian, right? And Fred Mitchell, he's like the incarnate of Eugene Newey, and he's like on this mission to destroy this country because he doesn't like it. He don't like Bahamians, okay? And it isn't fair. Because in nowhere in the world you get persons who will be administrating justice who are law. I'm talking about their forces and everything that is, they say, will keep a society normal, right? To be advocating all Haitian, you know, no other national, you know, it's something is wrong. And, you know, they know what they're doing and it ain't good. And I mean, like, I think we need to get a Donald Trump to basically get in on this, you know. Because if we looking at things how it is right now, I see a lot of streets being paved all over the place, right? Where voters are, right? But our main corridor, Shirley Street, intentionally is not being paved because of the U.S. Embassy.
You think so? I'm getting some information about the bill, all right? The bill is saying, right, it is not saying only the smuggler will be charged. It is saying finally the smuggler will be charged. Those who are smuggled will be deported as usual or charged if they commit other crimes. That's interesting. So if they don't commit other crimes, they won't be deported. Clear it up. Let's run back to the phone lines, and we'll clear it up. Call you live.
Uncle, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My brother, sometimes it's always good to take a break from the radio and listen to the commentary of others around you, especially those ones that great people who love the Bahamas, because this is our home.
Yeah.
The only thing I have to say right now, and I'm going to make it short, brief, and get off the phone, is 160,000 compared to 1.2 billion. Okay? Out of that, 400,000 estimated here. A lot of persons are estimating that there's only 160,000 raw-born Bahamians in this country. Everybody else are foreigners. And those who claim that they want to be Bahamian, but they are not loyal to the Bahamian people or the Bahamas. When you compare that number to a nation that's over 1.2 million, and they're coming here in the droves in particular, the Chinese are here. We have a concern with them. The Jamaicans are here. The Africans are here. The Canadians and the Americans.
And the Indians.
But the ones that seem to be oversaturating our country are our brothers and sisters. Some people call them from the South. And when you look at the amount of money, so this is what we mentioned the other day. What is the true value of the amount of money that leaves this country, go into other jurisdictions, especially that way, but yet our social security network is being devastated?
Yeah.
Who is speaking up for the Bahamian people?
Yeah.
The taxpayer. That's you, me, and everybody else who are raw-born Bahamians. You see, you hate to speak like this, but you have to put this thing in reality. We don't hate people. We are not xenophobic. We love our country. We want to protect our country because generations of raw-born Bahamians deserve the right to have a country that's called their own. The other people got their country.
Yeah.
They are loyal to that country. Why do they not go to that country and try help build that country? That's all I'm going to say on this, okay? 160,000 compared to 1.2 million plus.
You can't put an elephant. Yeah, you can't put an elephant in a matchbox. So the people, just getting clarity on what was said earlier on the bill, those who are smuggled will be deported as usual or charged if they commit other crimes. In essence, they will be charged and will have to face trial if they committed other crimes. So those who are being smuggled in will also be charged, right? But again, I'm learning, just like many of you. We're just reading this bill and asking questions. There are a lot of loopholes, a lot of ambiguity. Let's take this last call, and then we got to go. All right, I don't think that call is there. But what I want you to also pay attention to, there's a lot of talk about Haitians. A couple of shows ago, we talked about the fact that Bahamians are the only people who are allowed to own certain types of business license, wholesale, retail, etc. When you walk downtown and you look at these jewelry stores, right, and you look at some of these stores, I don't know if Bahamians own them, but they ain't running them. They ain't running them for sure in many instances. So, yes, we do have a Haitian migration problem. It ain't only the Haitians here. You understand? Wish we had more time. Thank you for the callers. Thanks to the texters. MJ, Mary Jane, and Naughty is coming up next. The Talking Heads here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Fresh news, smart talk all day. Namastu family.